Your life is a movie, and you are the main character and star. Hey, y'all, welcome back to my channel. Self-love is currency. If you are new to this channel, if you resonate with the title or any other content on this channel, go ahead and like this video and subscribe to my channel for more content as such. To all of my returning subscribers, my day ones, my OGs, my real ones, thank you all so much for the continued support. I truly do appreciate you. Without further ado, let's get back into it. So grab y'all something to sip on. I'm currently drinking some green tea. So yeah, grab y'all something to sip on, get your little snack, whatever. But tune in to this message. So this is actually a download that I got yesterday while I was doing some after the gym self-care. I don't know about anybody else, whether it's a grand idea, messages from God and or the universe, but I get a lot of my downloads and just big bright ideas while I am taking a shower. So this is where this came from, and it was a lot all at once, but it was great. It literally was a bomb-ass experience to have this download, because it gave me so much healing. It gave me so much peace. It gave me just a refresh that I was looking for, not only for 2025, but for my life in general. And what I was hearing, what was dropped so abruptly and heavily and magically into my spirit was that your life is a movie. You are the main character and star. And if I want to be even more honest, like, I actually had this download and or thought the previous week, but I didn't do anything with it. So I'm like, yo, like, I need to drop some content, because I don't feel like God is going to keep giving me messages if I don't do anything with it. And I actually heard a saying, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but I was watching a video from another content creator, and they were just saying, like, in terms of living out your purpose, fulfilling your soul mission, if you are not doing so, then whatever idea, whatever business venture, whatever video, it could be whatever you are supposed to be doing, whatever God has been impressing on your heart, on your mind to do. If you don't do it, God will go to the next person to do it. And so you can't feel any type of way about it, because you were divinely guided. Your ears, your heart, your soul was open, but you just sat on whatever information out of fear, out of being judged by other people, out of your sense of perfectionism and things having to be perfect, instead of just putting out and having it be, it is what it is type of deal. So this is just one of them moments where I'm going to just go for it, and whatever happens, happens. But this thought was so grand, and that's just like a little backdrop. But as I was getting this message, your life is a movie. You are the main character and star. I thought about my life in terms of a movie. And I'm going to take y'all back to my college days. I am very big on therapy. Very, 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 very emphasis on the word very big on therapy, especially if you come from a very damaged or troubling, traumatic childhood. I'm big on it. Not only because I have a degree in psychology, but firsthand experience with therapy. I made a promise to myself. I had to be all of, I would say, from 8 to 10 years old. But I told myself, like, whenever I leave my house, my house being the hellhole. I used to sometimes refer to it as my childhood home. I told myself that I would get therapy because I did not want to turn into the people who raised me, the people who were in my life at the times as just very low vibrational people that were being used by the devil, by way of Decepticons, manipulators, abusers, perpetrators, scammers, just people doing real devilish ass shit. And I didn't want to become that. So I told myself that I would go to therapy. And maybe at the time, at that young, ripe age, that wasn't me telling myself, but that was like God and my angel guys telling me, like, yo, whenever you leave here, whenever that time comes, like, you need to get in therapy just so you stay on the right path and you don't succumb to the aftermath of unhealed trauma and wounds and just bleeding all over the place by way of actions because of that. So I was blessed enough to leave at 18 and go to college. And once I got to said university, I enrolled in therapy. And I remember my first sessions, or one of my first sessions, I was telling her my story because, of course, they have to take down client information and, what brings you in today. And as I was telling her about my issues and problems in my life, she told me, I'll never forget this. I was 18 at the time, so this was over, 18 years ago. Crazy. She was like, the way you are talking to me right now is like you are telling a story. And she said it as if I should feel bad for how I was expressing my life experiences. And I'm like, okay. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, damn, like, how am I supposed to be describing things that I've gone through? And I've actually thought about this, like I said, when this whole Your Life is a Movie popped in my head, I thought about that experience a little bit more. And I said, I'm like, I thought about it, analyzed it, and that's how things, should be in a sense. I'm not negating whatever you've gone through personally that's traumatic, that was bad, that didn't necessarily serve you, that may have been abusive, that may have tainted your vision or your spirit, your outlook on life, that may have put holes in your aura, your soul, your spirit. I'm not negating the effects of abuse, the effects of trauma, the effects of having a karmic ass family, a dysfunctional family, an abusive family, a toxic family, a family that does more hurt and harm than good or actually loving you. I'm not negating any type of heinous experience. What I learned, though, thinking about this situation, the conversation that I had with my therapist at the time, was how detaching from tumultuous and traumatic experiences actually has helped me. Thinking about my life as a movie and reciting it or communicating my life experiences as a story has helped me, has created a certain sense of resilience, has gave me tough skin. And I'm not saying like let's play make pretend, because obviously going to therapy is a commitment. So that's something that I have allowed myself to relive on purpose for the past almost 20 years so that I could have a successful, healthy, abundant, loving, and prosperous life. But yes, looking at your life as a movie is helpful. Not only helpful, but it changes the game. I was thinking last night, like, since you and I are main characters in our movie, you have so much power when you appoint yourself as that. You get to decide what characters you allow in your movie. And I guess since it's a movie, actors or actresses, you get to decide like who your cast is going to be at whatever season of life you're in. You get to decide if that character or actor dies off, gets replaced. You get to decide the plot twist and different things that happen like in a movie. Now, you are co-creating with God or the universe, like always remember that. But sometimes we fall victim easily because of our experiences. So we just decide to give up and not understand like, yo, this shit, this 3D matrix, my life right now is a movie. So at any point, I can decide to change. I can decide to, maybe you want to change your hair. Maybe you want to change your aesthetic. Maybe you want to go back to school. Maybe you want to get married. Maybe you want to leave a relationship. Maybe you want to get more money. These things ultimately can change the trajectory of your life, but they also change the direction of your movie. If you think about a regular movie, movies that we watch, because I feel like art depicts life so much, there's a lot that you can learn from just TV and movies. Same concept. I don't think anything exists in this life for no reason. Nothing in this life exists just to exist. Everything we can learn from, everything we can take notes and store it in our computer, which is our cells, our DNA, for future use if need be. But the whole concept of a movie and the main character's flexibility to be able to shapeshift and morph into anything speaks volumes, and that's what we should adopt in our everyday life. No matter the challenges, triumphs, tribulations, the trauma we face, we can't allow ourselves to stay stuck in that, but almost manifest a version of ourselves that is an overcomer. And even if you aren't who you're supposed to be in that moment, that's where fucking acting comes in at. Like, you're in a movie, so maybe you are dealing with fear. Maybe you are dealing with self-doubt. Maybe you are dealing with a lack of self-love and self-belief. But when you put that shit on, like, let's act it out. Let's pretend for just a bit. Just like my therapist said at the time, whenever I was telling her different things that I've been through, she was just sitting there floored in disbelief. But I'm like, yeah, I'm really her. Like, 18 at the time, been through a lot of shit. And I think also, just a side note, people that have experienced trauma in childhood are some of the most creative people, because you have had to create ways to survive. But that creativity can extend to different parts of your life. It's just not for survival tactics. It can be in any facet or aspect of your life. And when just circling back to having normal feelings of being human, in this world. It's easy. But if you think about yourself in your own movie, you don't want to watch a boring ass movie. Even when you think about a good movie that you've watched, maybe at the beginning of the movie, the main character was somebody that was just, they had hit rock bottom. They was taking a lot of shit from their family, maybe at work too. They were bullied at school. And then, they decided to get their shit together and they became a millionaire. I don't know. They just became successful. But they were once the underdog. And now they're in charge, on top of the world. That's how we need to consider our lives and not play about it. The way that we are so intelligent and have the ability to manipulate energy is crazy. Like, you can change your life by not only making small decisions, but and I meant to say not only making big decisions, but making small adjustments. A hair color. You deciding to get another job. You deciding to follow your intuition and go to a coffee shop instead of making coffee at home. Shit like that is all a part of divine timing, because if you hadn't done those things, then you would have probably been on a different path or arrived at a point in your on your path at a later time. We have to remember that we are in more control than we think we are. And keep in mind, we are still co-creating with God, the universe. But we shouldn't fall victim to, like I said, our experiences, whether they may be experiences from our past or what we're currently going through. We need to lean into our ability to change, to shapeshift, to transform, like literally Transformers. Let's be real. You need to watch a movie and pay attention to the progression of the movie. Character development. How was the character at the beginning of the movie versus the end? And I like watching movies like that. Like I said before, the character is down and out at the beginning, and then at the end of the movie, they make the ultimate comeback. Because I think at the end of the day, it's just a continual message to us as humans in this lifetime that we can always make changes. We are all living out our own simulation together. And we have the ability to say cut whenever. We have the ability to switch out characters, actors, actresses. We have the ability to change how our movie ends. And also, if there will be a sequel. There's so much power in what we have to give. So we shouldn't give up yet. We should be continually adding to our masterpiece that is us. Art depicts life, and our life is the ultimate movie. So go all out. Go crazy. If you are still listening to this message, thank you all so much. Go ahead and click that like button, and if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more content as such. I'm on my way to the gym. So I will catch y'all next time. Y'all be blessed. Peace.